Hello and welcome to another Doctor Who Sonic Screwdriver toy review video. Today we're going to be looking at the 13th Doctor's Sonic Screwdriver. So it has been a good long while since I've done the other Sonic Screwdriver review videos, and I thought I'd buy this one just to round off the collection. I think this is a fascinating looking Sonic Screwdriver because it stands out against all the other ones. You can tell if I move a little closer. It's nowhere near as refined or as machined as the other ones. And I watched the clip on YouTube of the 13th Doctor making her Sonic Screwdriver, and I thought that was a really cool scene, having to see what it's like to actually make something like this, because it's such a fascinating tool. It can do so many things. The Sonic devices can do pretty much anything as long as you use your imagination. But for it to look like this? Okay then. So I do understand that there are two versions of this toy specifically. The version I got was the cheaper version. I think it was the cheaper version. Here's the box. So it's this box. I think this is the newer one. I don't know. I'm not really keeping up with Doctor Who as much as I used to. But I thought I'd get this one just to round off the collection. And this one in particular doesn't look too appealing. So if I move closer just again, you can kind of see with the kind of texturing across the Sonic Screwdriver. It looks like somebody's painted on it, but they've missed a few spots and it's kind of splodging. I think on the other version it was more detailed and it looked either more wooden or more metallic. Again, I can't remember, but I do know that this was the lesser detailed of the two. All in all, I think it looks unique, and that's probably the only word I would use. Ugly is probably the other word I would use, because again, if you put this against the other ones, it stands out like a sore thumb. However, holding it is amazing. That curved section, as ugly as it looks on a Sonic Screwdriver, is so comfortable in the hand because of how your palm is positioned and this fat section underneath your thumb as well. Because it's curved, you can hold this in any position and it's comfortable. So you could use your thumb on the main button, you could turn it around, use your finger. It's so good. I'm actually quite amazed at that. I wasn't expecting that to be comfortable at all, but that was a very pleasant surprise. I'm actually really happy with that, because I can hold this in comparison to probably any other Sonic Screwdriver toy, because it's a perfect cylindrical design, or if it's got things sticking out, a bit more uncomfortable to hold. But this is really cool. This is actually really cozy. So if I turn it that way and then that way, you can see that there are these two buttons. This button isn't a button. Doesn't do anything except potentially make the toy light up every so often. See if I get to do it now. There we go. So no sounds, but lights going across the entire Sonic Screwdriver. That's another plus I will give this. Seeing all these clear sections for it to light up, I think is really nice. More of a personal sort of cosmetic preference, but all in all, I think that's really cool. For some people who think that having a more refined design, again, if you compare it to other Sonic Screwdrivers where it's just the bulb at the top that lights up, you might not like this. But again, you can kind of go back and forth in your own time. So this is the only working button. Well, debatable because that lights it up every so often. But this is the main button on the Sonic Screwdriver toy. There are 3 sounds to this toy. Just lit up again, didn't even touch the button. That is, I don't know if that's a product flaw or if that's just how the Sonic Screwdriver was built. If that's something that you've experienced as well with this toy, please, pardon me, please let me know in the comment section below, because I am interested to see if other people have experienced that. I haven't come across too many people with that, but at the same time it does seem a little bit common. Anyway, so yeah, there are 3 sounds to this Sonic Screwdriver, and they're all new sounds. Specifically, the second one is one I haven't heard before, but in, I think, all 3 of the sounds, there's a clicking at the start and the end of each sound effect. So it's click, noise, click. So I'm going to try and play it off for you now. Let me turn it around this way to the, so here, oh, without pressing it yet. So just about here, that's where the sound is coming out of. So if I put that towards you, hopefully you can hear that a little bit easier. So that clicking at the start and end of each sound effects might be a bit difficult to hear, but it is there. Something like that. That's actually really cool, just to have that more variety in the sounds, so it's not using the same sound effects from each Sonic Screwdriver toy specifically. We know that Sonic Screwdriver in the show can make a different variety of noises, but for the sake of the toy, not being limited to the same ones, is really nice. So you press it down once, you get your main sound. Press it down twice. I think that is a really cool scanning sound, and of all of the different sound effects from the other sonic screwdrivers, that's a favourite. That second sound effect is genuinely a really cool sound. Pressing it 3 times for the last sound effect, sadly, is a sound effect we have heard before. This is something I believe was first introduced in the 11th Doctor's sonic screwdriver. It's supposed to represent a sort of damaged or broken screwdriver. But at the same time, let me just do that one more time, just to correct what I said earlier. Yeah, that clicking sound before the main sound effect itself was still there. So it's not a direct copy of the sound effect, but you recognise it straight away. One last thing to point out is that the light, as you can see, a bit difficult because it's very bright on video, goodness. So the actual light on this screwdriver toy is orange, which I think is quite nice. Orange and silver, you know, doesn't really look too, or doesn't sound like it would go really well together. But the more you press down the button and get used to seeing that, the more it matches, the more it actually looks really nice. Speaking of looking really nice, we'll try and get that closer to the camera, there we go. That bulb at the top with that sort of wiring going around it, the fact it isn't refined, I think that's actually quite nice in comparison to the smoothness of other sonic screwdriver toys. I think something like that in particular is something that I would like, but for the rest of the design, not really. So there we go, that is my review of the sonic screwdriver toy for the 13th Doctor. It is not a good looking sonic screwdriver by any means, but functionality, it's actually really nice. I think if the shell was more refined, and like if you take it to the series after the Doctor made her sonic screwdriver, came up with this thing, a few episodes go by, she upgrades, or it like gets damaged, for example, she's got to fix it, she's got more tools, it's like, oh, she can make it into something so much better. I think that's going to be a great stepping stone to a much cooler sonic screwdriver. Nonetheless, I think this is still a very fun toy. It is a sonic screwdriver after all, so it's always going to be fun to wave this around and kind of do a bit of role play with. Thank you all very much for your time. Thank you for watching this video. Be sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already. I will see you all in the next episode. Bye.